Hey all, welcome to the Polco Minute, where you hear the latest best practices and news in local government and civic engagement. I'm Angelica Waddell with this week's headlines. Our first article today highlights a few significant changes in American opinion when it comes to public safety services. A recently published police study brought to light increasing dissatisfaction with local law enforcement. National Research Center at Polco compared the results from two separate surveys, one in 2018 and one in 2020. In 2018, about 80% of residents were satisfied with the quality of police services in their community. But by 2020, that figure dropped by more than 23%. Both Black and white residents have become more aligned in their opinions since the 2018 survey, and both races rate their trust in police as significantly less. Questions were asked regarding police and their behavior. This includes acting within the law, being trustworthy, using appropriate force, and whether or not they act as positive influences in the community. Currently, less than half of Black residents offer positive ratings when it comes to these issues. But the surveys focused on more than what is going wrong in our communities. Residents were also asked what law enforcement could do to make things right. Their priorities for community could be school safety, drug enforcement, and helping to solve neighborhood problems. In 2018, Black and white residents aligned closely on these priorities. But in 2020, Black residents placed greater importance on law enforcement, increasing their connections with the community. Black residents also put more value in law enforcement working with residents to solve neighborhood problems. Data from these surveys can be used to increase collaboration with people of all backgrounds. Police departments and local government officials can increase collaboration and increase transparency, and that's what's needed to really develop trust. This will help to reduce disparities in police trust and perceptions over time. Our next article today comes from The Atlas and covers a case study in Bloomington, Minnesota. There, local officials are using Polco's Civic Engagement platform to gather feedback regarding the community response to COVID-19. With in-person engagements being severely limited, Bloomington officials turned to online resources to connect with their residents. Through Polco's Civic Engagement platform and surveys, officials were able to view real-time results and quick snapshots of how their residents were faring. One of the first pivotal things that officials established was that the city website is actually the second most popular resource for information about COVID-19. Residents want timely, accurate information, especially regarding the number of virus cases locally. In direct response to this feedback, Bloomington improved its website and added a dashboard with COVID-19 information. By June of last year, residents were reporting that they didn't feel so safe in public around others not wearing a mask. So, in direct response to this feedback, the mayor issued a face mask requirement. Bloomington officials also used the Civic Engagement platform to determine economic responses to the pandemic. The city estimated a budget shortfall of up to $17 million in 2020. To deal with this, officials reached out to residents and decided together how to address the issue. They used a budget poll promoted through the city's social media, email, and website. And any residents without internet access could respond by calling the Parks and Recreation Department. Over 3,000 residents responded. This overwhelming feedback resulted in the closure of a community center through the end of the year. And this one action alone saved the city an estimated $390,000. Through Polco's Civic Engagement platform, Bloomington officials have been able to truly connect with their residents. They've increased engagement overall and improved transparency. So they plan to continue using the platform to inform their decision-making process and other issues in the future. And finally, today we have some advice on how to convince residents to take surveys. I'll share my own best tips and several ways that you can persuade residents to participate. The first reality that we need to address is that if you give people too much time, they'll put that survey off and forget about it. For this reason, it's important to create a sense of urgency or immediacy in your communications. So be sure to share the end date and always remind residents when the survey is about to close. Another angle to keep in mind is that of reciprocity. If someone does something nice for us, we often feel compelled to do something nice for them in return. By thanking residents in advance for their time and their participation, we communicate how much we value them. Let people know from step one that their voices are important. Next, it's important to remember that community engagement is never a one-and-done deal. Consistency is essential, and so is leveraging messages from respected authorities, like the mayor, for example, or city manager. Partner with trusted leaders in the community. Be timely and predictable. Also be friendly and human. Don't use confusing government jargon, and be transparent about what you're asking and why. This helps to build lasting relationships and also increases engagement with residents. Because ultimately, when people trust you, they will be a whole lot more willing to take your survey. Thanks for watching the Polco Minute with me. My name is Angelica Waddell, Director of Communications at Polco National Research Center. Polco makes it easy for local governments to get accurate and reliable feedback from their communities. How are you keeping up with today's engagement issues and trends? Join a panel discussion with other local government leaders and us nationwide. Connect with me on LinkedIn or send us a note at polco.us/contact to let us know if you're in. See you next time.